Welcome to another episode of the Bandwagon Podcast. And today I am joined by the Punjabi sensation, but I'll call him by his actual ring name, Dylan, the Natural Cheema. Welcome to the Bandwagon Podcast.
Hi, Ricky. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. I really appreciate it. And you kind of alluded to it just off air, which is this is now your office chair, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually sat in the car at the minute, so I just stepped out from the office just for the time being to make some time for you. So, still at work, still busy things. So yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have expected it any other way, really, in terms of kind of work ethic. How's it been since obviously winning the tournament?
Obviously, things have just blown up. It's just gone crazy. I'm having messages from all over the world, from support saying, "Well done, you're inspiring us," or just congratulations. It has been crazy. A lot of media attention, as you'd imagine. I'm just taking it all in my stride and just enjoying it for as it comes. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity that I had, and winning it and getting the successes. I'm just taking it all in now as it happens.
Dylan, when you get some of those messages, was there anyone from in particular that kind of stands out where you're thinking, hang on, I used to look up to this guy or girl, whatever, and like all of a sudden they're messaging me?
No one in particular. There's no one that I would say that really probably stands out massively, but it's just there's obviously quite a lot going on, and people messaging. It was just madness for about a couple of weeks. It still is now. We're 3 weeks after the fight, and it's still just as crazy as it was 2 weeks ago. So yeah.
I know. I was actually surprised that because I was messaging you on a little bit Instagram, and then I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to go back to I'm going to go onto Facebook and to see what I'm going to. And you replied, I was like, oh my god, this is people are still using Facebook, which is great. It was good.
Yeah, to be honest, Facebook sort of, Instagram sort of taking its presence nowadays, and Facebook. I don't tend to use Facebook too much. I just sort of follow trends and follow what's going on in the martial art world side of things, kickboxing side. That's all I really had Facebook for. And then obviously, it's sort of gone a bit more mad. And I'm one of them. I would never ignore a message. I'd never just batten off and just think I'm too big or I ain't got time for this. I would always, if I had 10 minutes, that's when I was replying to messages and trying to get back to people. And and I think I saw your message and I thought, yeah.
No, I appreciate it, man. Honestly, because I was buzzing, man, after I see it, because I was trying to go through a few different avenues to try and get to you. And one of my good mates, he does a podcast as well, Bally Cheema. I think he's got you kind of lined up as well. He's a good guy as well. So, I mean, you just kind of touched on it a little bit. Your first love was around kickboxing. You're a two-weight world champion, both at lightweight and super lightweight. Was that your first interaction with martial arts, or did you do like karate first or something else, or would just go straight into kickboxing?
Yeah, I mean, I was always in and around martial art. I did taekwondo when I was like very young, sort of 4 or 5, but never really got too far. Not really progressed with that. Fell into did a bit of football, did a bit of swimming, that sort of stuff. But when I was 10 years old, my best mate, Umaji, and asked me to go down to the gym and train with him. His dad, Uncle Baggy, everyone known him as a dancer, sits in him in the ring afterwards. Yeah. He was the one that coached us all of us kids, and I fell in love with it straight away. To be honest, I love the atmosphere of the gym. I like learning something new, and I like the grittiness of training as well. And I absolutely loved it. And then I also loved punching and getting punched in the face. I felt like I jumped in the ring, I think, after about 6 months of training, and it was sort of, at that sort of age, it wasn't it was only body contact, wasn't headshots, and I broke my nose.
Yeah.
Even though it should have been no head contact, I broke my nose and got punched in the face, and then that sort of was an eye opener. Never had that happen to me before, and then fought 2 weeks later and lost, but put a good account of myself in that amateur fight, and since then it was just upwards journey, and I just fell in love with it straight away. I just loved every element of kickboxing, to be honest.
But you were talking about Taekwondo in terms of obviously that concentrates quite a lot on your leg movements in terms of your kicks and your angles that you're doing. Was that transition easier when you went into kind of into kickboxing more, or was it just too early in your career for it to kind of have a impact on style?
I mean, to be honest, I didn't really have a career in Taekwondo. I probably did it for like a year or so. So that doesn't really play into much of my kickboxing transitioning. I did it when I was young and then stopped for so many years, and then when I came into kickboxing, I was a raw, natural amateur. Like I did nothing. I had no experience. I wasn't the fittest kid in school. I wasn't the fastest kid. I didn't lift the heaviest weights, or I didn't, physically I didn't look like I was strong or had anything. I just had this natural ability that I was fortunate that I could pick up the skills that I was getting taught and really just turn that into a fighting style that I had. So I played to my strength, which was tall and skinny. So keep them away, kick them away, or whatever that was, and I had a little bit of power as well. And I stopped a few kids when I was younger as well. So Taekwondo never really played into my kickboxing career, to be honest.
When you were doing the going into kickboxing more, so how long were you doing that for before you transitioned over into boxing?
Oh, it wasn't
about
until
5 years.
2019 was the last year of my kickboxing career. So, what was I then? Jesus, I shouldn't be thinking about this.
Let's say 5 to 10 years.
So it was about 11 years. It was about 11 years. Yeah. 11, 12 years. 12 years in kickboxing. I learned a lot. I learned loads. We used to when we were kids, we used to be going to kickboxing shows every other month, or once every month. There was a fight, or multiple times in a month. So we kept ourselves regular, kept ourselves active. We were always in and around training in the gym. If I wasn't training in the gym, I'd be training at home. And that was at a very young age. I remember dieting when I was 13. I remember I had my first English title fight when I was 13. And I remember training for that, and my coach said, "Right, okay, you need to start running now." Fine, okay, what? They said, well, I wasn't allowed to run on the road because my family thought it was too dangerous. So they said, go run in the garden. Well, okay, so I started doing laps of the garden every evening after school, and I was doing probably 40 minutes of running after school, and then going and doing sit-ups and press-ups in my room after. That was on the days that I weren't going to my kickboxing gym. And then that's where sort of the mindset, the hard work, the mentality, that's where that sort of started, and where that grew. I remember going to school, I was dieting as well. I wasn't I was only getting a sandwich, and I only have half a sandwich, I throw only the half in the bin. After school, only having one rookie instead of two. Even just little things like that. I was just trying to do what my coaches said I had to do, and following what the other professional fighters in the gym at that age, watching what they were doing, I was trying to copy them. It was very much a mindset that I instilled from a young age.
The sacrifice in terms of the grind, in terms of, people will probably just see obviously what they've seen in the last few weeks, including myself, but knowing the journey before then, in terms of knowing what the dedication that's needed, and the practicalities behind it, your coaches are that belief in there. It's not easy to kind of fall into that and to have the right atmosphere, because going into the right gym is really important. How did you know that that training camp or that was home for you?
They're the only guys I've ever trained with, so I don't know if it is the right one, if it isn't the right one. For me, I just know it's right. I call them my coaches, they're not my coaches. I've got Uncle Baggy, I've got Richard Wallace, Simon and Kufu. Them two are like brothers / uncles to me, like best mates. And then Uncle's uncle. We've all got mad respect for Uncle. We all, Uncle says something, we do it.
Do it.
Bottom line, that's it. There's no arguments. So I just know that they're the right people for me. And then, we've had like strength and conditioning coaches come in, Indy and Mandy. And then we've got John Ryan, our sports massage therapist. So, we have got a really good team and solid team. We all gel really well. We're not, there's no egos. There's no, I'm the best. I'm this. I'm that. I've got to do it my way. We all work as a team. We all all have one interest, and that's going in there to win, make sure I'm the best that I can be, and they put the time and effort into me to get me to that level as well.
During your kickboxing, like kind of last bit on that, did you ever go to like Thailand and do camps? Because I know that was a popular thing. Like my mates used to go over and do kind of 6 weeks there, or do it a month. Did you ever experience that?
No, not really. To be honest, it was because kickboxing was like I was doing it through it went through my GCSEs ish into my A levels and went into my university days. So never really had the time to go out there. And I wasn't really like I used to enjoy watching all the fights in Thailand and following that sort of scene, but I never really went out there. It just never really interested me to go out there. Never really went on loads of like, how people have like lads holidays. I've never really went on loads of them, to be honest. So I was just I just wanted to get my studies done and continue to train. Just do the two things that the one thing I really enjoyed the most is fighting. Study sort of came second, but the study sort of came second, but yeah.
So the transition into kind of boxing, I think the kind of natural atmosphere at the moment is there's an explosion into MMA to go into the Israel Adesanya had a similar pathway of where he was a kickboxing and went into UFC, and you can see that long frame, big reach. He's able, and he's quite successful in that way. I mean, obviously, he's champion here.
To be honest, MMA was, I think, when we were in the old gym where we all used to train, a wrestling coach came in. I think he did like some Russian style wrestling. So we started to learn that sort of stuff. And I remember going home. I think I was 15, and I went home to mum and dad. Said, like, I want to try this MMA. What do you mean? We've been to Coventry Sky Dome. They used to have, I think the first televised Sky Sports MMA fights were at the Coventry Sky Dome, and we knew the promoter then. He used to come in my shop, so we used to go down and watch those. And I think Barrington Patterson used to had a couple of fights. Yeah, he had a few MMA fights on there as well. So, and then I was like, I think I was 50. I said, I want to give this a try. So they've seen what that's like. They were just like, no chance. You ain't gonna do that. So I left that and then just went more into fighting and kickboxing.
And then because I had to, because your dad doesn't like you fighting. He doesn't like watching you fight, does he?
No. To be fair, mum and dad and my big B, they can't watch me fight. They just physically, they just can't. As much as they say, they just don't like it. As much as they say, whatever they say, as nice as it is, and they like, they would like to go after. It's always good when you get the win and the atmosphere is great and stuff, but they just can't watch me getting punched in the face. They just can't do it. So yeah,
it's kind of such a mixed feeling in terms of you understand they got there's being proud, and there's obviously the concern, and just making sure that you come out of there safely is like the number one. But because my mate, he was asking Rav Garcha, he's into the whole shop world. He was saying he was speaking to your dad, and that's how he told me. He was like, he goes, I can't. He goes, I got the phone call saying, that was it. And he didn't watch it until the morning or something.
Yeah, that's it. So what normally happens is it's a mad one really, because my phone sort of, I turn my music on, goes on to speak, and I turn my phone basically goes on do not disturb for about 24 hours then. I just don't want no distractions, just focus on the fight. So my best mate, Umaji, he phones my mom after every fight. He'll phone mom, or mom will phone him, just say, "Is he okay? Can I speak to him?" And then he'll pass the phone over to me. Yeah, I'm fine, mom. I'm all happy. We're all fine. All she wants to know is once we got the win was I'm okay, and that I don't come home when she first time she sees me. I've got loads of black eyes or busted nose or whatever. So I'll sort of give her a heads up saying, look, I've got a few bruises, just so she's not too worried.
Yeah. That's all right. As long as you got the picture for the marry me quick one, you're fine, and it just so that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's it. So with the tournaments like the Boxer Series, like how does, because you're kickboxing champ, you've done that, you achieved your goals, or you've hit there.
Yeah,
I mean, you get into how do you kind of get picked to say, right, you're one of those fighters within there? Yeah,
so it's sort of, boxing is a small world. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone starts pulling favours left, right, and centre. So for me, it was, I found out Boxer was coming to Coventry, and I didn't know who was in the tournament. I said to my manager, I said, look, did you know this show was coming? He said, yeah. I said, can we just get on the show as just an in-between fight? So sometimes they have fights in between the tournament fights. I said, can we just be one of those fighters? I'm from Coventry. It'd be good if they had a Coventry lad on there. And he said, yeah, fine, let me go away. Came back and spoke to my coach and said, there's an opportunity there to go in the tournament, and they took it. My coach was confident. I just do what I'm told. As long as I just train hard, they tell me what to do and I'll do it. They were confident and they said, yeah, we've just entered you in the tournament. And that's how it came about. Literally, it was just a crazy week where I remember sat down, I was at a work event over in Liverpool on the Thursday. So I think it was Friday morning, and my coach was saying, we think you're in. You're in. Wait, hang on. Just wait for the phone call. No, you're definitely in now. It was just a crazy hour of this back and forth, and it was like, yeah, we're finally in. So that was it. And then from that Friday, it was 7 weeks out, and that was it. Game on, focus, turn up the momentum, and get working hard.
So, you know, for a camp, you just said like 7 weeks out. You know, like in terms of traditionally, if you're getting ready for a camp, how long would you kind of prepare?
Yeah, typically it's like I don't have a set amount of time, so it's like I normally have so if I have a fight, then I have 2 weeks off. I always have 2 weeks just to give myself some time to rest, let my body recover, eat some crap, and then after 2 weeks I'll get back into training. So this is now that we're in week 3 now, so I'm getting back into training, and then it'll depend. So if I have a date that's, I don't know, 12 weeks down the line, I'll do 4 weeks of learning and then 8-week training camp, or I'll do 3 weeks of learning and a 6-week training camp. Just depends on where the date is.
What do you mean by learning? Like analyzing their style, who you're fighting, or adapting? You learning new stuff.
It's me learning new stuff. So my coach's always got a list of things that he wants to show me, wants to teach me, and we just go back to some basics. Review the last fight that I had and pick up some things that I didn't do so well, and start working on things and trying to add to my repertoire as much as we can. So that's where the learning comes into it. That's very important as well. As much as, you know, you want to get punch harder, punch faster, get fitter, you need to learn and need to progress as well. So we do have a bit of that every training camp as well. So I call it a training camp. It's not really. We just have 2 weeks off, get training, get fit, learn, then pick up the training again for a fight, and then have a fight, and then it's just the same cycle. Fight really.
Like away from boxing, for the people who are kind of listening and watching and stuff, like your family is so well established in the area. You've got successful businesses away from this, and it's really important to drive this point home. Like, you do not need this. You choose this as a passion in terms of your hobby and the dedication in there. There's a lesson to be learned in that. So how do you kind of balance that work-life balance, to do your training?
Yeah. So one of my coaches, Simon Akufo, said many years ago, I think I was 17 or 18, he said, if you want to do this seriously, you need to give it your social life. That's got to happen. He said, if you want to make this, if you want to half-ass it and still want to have a social life, you won't get any further. You won't get far. That's the sacrifice he made, and my other coach, Richard Waller, and Uncle Baggy made as well. That's the sacrifice they had to make. So I was like, all right, fine. I don't need a social life. I love training. So you guys are my mates. This is my social life. Going down to gym and having a laugh and a joke and punching 10 bows out of each other. So that's it. So it isn't easy. I have to sacrifice, as daft as it sounds, not even going out to see my friends or, food, down to see my family. We all live in one house together. There's 11 of us that live together. Grandparents all there. So there'll be days where, even though we live in the same house, I don't get to see mom and dad. I don't get to see Bibi and Baba because of my Dada, because I leave home at 5:30 in the morning. And so my routine is leave home at 5:30. I get to work in Manchester at 7:30. I then train at lunchtime for about an hour. And then I leave work at 4:30, get to the gym for 6:30, train then till about 9:30, 9:30, and then I'm home for about 10 o'clock every night. That's 5 days a week. And then I train twice on a weekend and I train twice on a Sunday. So you can imagine, in between all of that, there ain't much time. On the weekend, if I'm not training, I'm sleeping because I need to get my rest in as well. I can't sleep during the day, during the week. So I'm at work.
Yeah.
So I've got to try but it is difficult. But then that's where, I'm lucky that my family do support me and they understand that as well. I'm my close friends and that I don't get to see often. They understand that as well. It's when I'm in training mode, and I'm in a dangerous sport. So I need to make sure I'm 100%. Otherwise, I could get hurt.
Yeah, and I think that's a really big thing. There was a podcast I listened to with BJ Penn, who was a UFC fighter, and he was talking about, he's not worried about the stuff that he's learned. It's the stuff that he hasn't learned, because that's the stuff that can potentially kill you. You know what I mean? Because it's just, because if you're going in those rings, you need to be fully aware in terms of what that is. It was one of the, watching the tournament was one of the rare occasions, like me and my wife actually sat down and watched boxing.
Oh, nice.
She actually just watches boxing whenever I kind of watch it, or potentially whatever. Yeah. But this was legit in terms of where it was on. And, I was getting so animated in terms of it was one of those ones where no matter how many WhatsApp groups and everyone was messaging and saying, watch his kid, man, watch his kid, this Dylan, this Dylan. Trust me. Yeah. It was just like everyone knew you from a different way, right? And your first fight was, pretty straightforward. I won't go into it, but your second, your second fight with Scott was, you were very convincing in the first one, and then the second round was a little bit. I only saw it was your part where there was a little bit of a dip, and I was concerned in terms of going in the third one where how you would do it. And I was just as this was going, I was speaking with my wife, and I was like going, especially with your kickboxing, the cardio is a massive thing, is it? Right.
Yeah.
And when you're going into your boxing, how you do it, and fighting, your technique is just all out raw. It's like it's pressure and you're going on there. How did you dig in, especially for that third round in your second fight? Because to me, that was the most impressive round out of that whole tournament. I was so impressed with that particular one.
That round probably won me the tournament, to be honest, because I had to find something special in that round. When we in training camp, we were going through and we were going through and training for this tournament specifically. So we're doing a fight. So we were doing 3 rounds, having a break, then doing 3 rounds again and having a break. On the third set of fights, we was doing not 3 rounds, we were doing 4. But the 4th round was everything. When I say everything, I mean I was punching till I can't lift my arms up. That's where this dig comes. But also the dig comes that second win came from in myself. I knew I won so going in that second fight, I sat down in the corner after the second round, and my coach said to me, "It's even now. Do you want to win this fight?" Now, some people turn around and say, "You need to win this fight. There's 40 grand on the line now. This is the opportunity you can get. This is your chance. Just money. Look at the money that you can make if you win this round." For me, it wasn't about the money. The money was great, but it was about winning, and I needed to do something special. I knew that already. I knew I'd lost the second round, and I needed something big before my coach already said it. So it was just about, right, okay, get your breath, get your recovery, use a minute to get your break. They didn't give me loads of instruction because all we needed to do was just stand there and just, if he threw one punch or landed one punch, I needed to try and land 2 or 3. I just needed to outscore him. And then, as the round settled in, I found I started to land a lot more. Started to land more body shots, I started to land more head shots, and I think I hurt him in the last 30, or it might have been last 10 seconds. I hurt him because he fell back on the ropes. And if another 30 seconds, I probably could have stopped him. But yeah, I had to find something special about. And that's the gravy that some people didn't know I had, but I know what I had, and some people that watch me in kickboxing know that I can overcome this adversity.
Yeah, I mean, as I had a feeling. I go like, this is gonna be. It's kind of written in that, written for you. when you got into the third fight, you kind of boxed a lot more smarter in terms of, you know, on the outside. You use a jab really, really well in terms of, like, you know, creating the space and getting on there. Did you consciously, because Ryan, he was a really pressured boxer. He was like closing on the space, closing the distance, coming on there. He was, whereas I think the other two fights you were putting on the pressure. This one you were kind of, it was back and forth really in terms of where you were stepping forward on the front foot. He was on the front foot. Did you kind of expect it, because he had a kind of shorter time in that respite? Were you tactically prepared for it? Because you probably don't have that much time to look at the styles. It's probably whatever you see, and then you just have to adapt.
That's it. I mean, I'm going to start releasing some behind the scenes footage from the changing room this week. I've just had the footage back, so you'll see some stuff. So Charlton was, after I had my break, we got up and I had my recovery. Then we started to warm up again, and my coach said, right, we actually did this thing. So the whole point was to move. The whole point was to box and move. That's all he's done all night was come forward and brawl. That was his only style. But we noticed that he was losing the early rounds. So with the first lad, I think he lost. I think some people said the other lad should have won the first fight for Charlton. But we realised that boxing him and not letting him continue with that pressure, you can beat this kid. He was just tough and durable and was relentless in his pressure. So the whole plan was just to keep moving, keep my head moving, don't stick on the ropes too much, and just school him, just box him. And luckily I've done that. But there's a bit in the changing room where I think there was a bit of like a bar thing in my changing room. So my coach said, right, get back against the wall. My other coach said, right, start swinging. And we just went through the most of rolling and dipping and picking shots. He said, this is what he's going to do. And that's exactly what he had to do. And exactly what we planned was roll, land a body shot, roll, come back with a shot, roll, land a shot, roll, move. That's what we planned in the changing room. That's what happened in the ring. So it was like, it actually worked out quite well.
Yeah, because it was kind of, I think your boxing IQ, especially that one, like, it really came to the forefront into the, you know, there's more down to it. What was the biggest lesson that you learned from that tournament? From outside of the ring, and two, inside of the ring?
Good question. I haven't really thought about that one, to be honest. I think outside the ring, it was probably how, you know, I didn't really feel the pressure from the media, the TV, the big cameras in your face. I didn't really feel that pressure. It was just new in terms of how to handle it and how to just be calm and how to say the right things. Probably is probably the biggest thing I learned outside the ring. And then obviously also outside the ring was my whole thing was I just wanted to come across as me. I didn't want to be fake. I didn't want to start saying I'm going to go in there, do this, do that, or be really timid or be really shy. I just wanted to be myself, and I think I managed to get that across. Didn't want to be fake. Just people fall in love with me and wanted to support me for who I am. Then I've done what I wanted to achieve. So inside the ring, there's a lot that I could take away from that tournament. I fought 3 different types of fighters. I fought a guy, Otis, who wanted to come and take my head off. He wanted to knock me out, and I knocked him out. I fought Scott, who's a very good boxer, but managed to outbox him. Or when I say outbox him, I mean I managed to outwork him and overcome that style of how to be a good boxer. And then with Charlton, it was how to be a guy that can scrap and relentless pressure. So I had 3 different types of fighters. So and there's stuff that, you know, we were starting to work on out of those 3 fights as well. So it was a good experience as well, because I managed to tick 3 boxes and hit 3 things of 3 different types of fighters as well. So it was good experience for me as well.
So how do you then kind of navigate what your kind of career is? Your career is it your manager who kind of says, like, this is the opportunity, or do you think, right, you know, I want to go down this road, or do you have like Sky Sports saying, look, Dylan, we know all the numbers because everyone was watching it, you know, like they've got something here, and if they utilize it around it, you know, you're a, you know, a future star in terms of where you could go.
That's it. I mean, for me, you know, I was so grateful that the Punjab, not even the Punjabi, the Sikh community, the Asian community in general, really got behind me and really supported me. You know, that was absolutely great. And I think, you know, for me now, it's always been the case that I just focus on training. I just need to focus on making sure I do the work that my coaches say. It's down to my manager to get me the right fights. It's down to my coaches to make sure they get me the right fights, or get the right opponents at the right times. And then obviously, you know, the backing from Sky is always going to be great, and always going to help build my profile. And, you know, hopefully we can get some big nights again. So I don't have a say in anything, to be honest. I just got to turn up and fight.
You just got to hope that, you know, they actually leave you some food in your house, and you know how they operated where you're coming back, you're not seeing anyone, and it just say, please leave my plate still there. I'm going to make it. I'm going to come back and eat with you guys.
That's it. No, that's it. Luckily, I think I'm back in. Boxer have got another tournament on the 14th of May. I'll be back in and around that on that fight night, so it'd be good to watch some big cruiserweights have a scrap and have some knockouts as well. So yeah, I'm lucky that, you know, that they're getting behind me, and they really want to help me build my career as well. So yeah, obviously, you know, work is work. I'm still grafting away and still working hard.
You're gonna have to make that decision soon, you know, Dylan. You're gonna have to make that decision where you're gonna think, well, I might have to have a word with Dad and Chacha and say, listen, man, I can't. I need to kind of pick one.
So there's two. Obviously, there's two bits of that. So there's the family business, the shops that I help out on the weekends. They actually give me a bit of time off. They allow me just to focus on my training. When I've got a fight coming up. Outside of a fight, then I do help out. And then obviously my business that I work for, the cash and carry up in Manchester. I'm sticking it out for the time being. I'm just gonna keep on going and keep on working, because I was able to make it work. I was able to win the tournament and work as well, and still train and get in good shape. So I'm just going to carry it on for the time being and just see where things go. You know, if anything big and big titles come on the horizon, then yeah, a decision will probably be made. But for now, it's just keep myself just working hard.
What does the next 12 months look like for you then, in terms of, like, you know, with your aspirations in terms of from a fighting point of view? Is there any kind of opponent, any kind of target that you're looking at?
I'm not going to sit here and just say I'm chasing the massive titles. I want the world titles next. I want the British titles next. I'm not. I know that I need to start developing my career now, getting the rounds under my belt, getting the experience with different types of fighters now. That's what the next 12 months probably look for me now, is just getting back on Sky is a big one, and then building a profile, but building my professional boxing career in terms of the knowledge I'm going to have inside the ring, and getting exposed to different fighters and gaining those experiences, which will then play in hand when I do have a big opportunity down the line, a big title fight. Then, you know, that'll all play into that hand as well.
I know it's very early on in your kind of career in this way, in the boxing bit, but like, is there some of the lessons that you're looking at in terms of advice and guidance for people coming in? I think because there's a lot of the Sikh Apra community, how you want to phrase it, martial arts or fighting or general exercise, especially in combat sports, is big. You know, everyone's kind of done it in some way. Is there anything that you've kind of seen that you think, oh, there's a gap in the market? Like, you come from a business background, you can see it. There's opportunity for there. Is there something like schools or like classes or particular things that you're looking to do or in the future?
And for me to teach and to coach.
I mean, not just because not just for you to teach. I think because that takes away from your time from training. But I think what we're good at in terms of is understanding the value of branding and having those kind of things, those conversations now, rather than, you know, later on, and you've already got kind of movement coming. Because like, it was clear on that day you had the whole of Coventry there, right? That was you had that. So there's something already there. Like, how do you make sure that you capitalize that and use it into that fighting capacity?
I mean, it's all about doing stuff like this. You know, for me now, it was, you know, the 2 weeks, the day after the fight, it was all about just riding that wave, getting the exposure, keeping that profile in people's minds, you know, but not too much a point where it's like over the top as well. It's doing it at the right time. So it's I mean, I'm lucky that one of my coaches, Simon, is a very good marketer, very good salesman as well. So he knows how, you know, he's been in this game for for so many, like 20 years. So he knows how to build a profile, how to build a platform. So just following his tuition really on that, and it's all about building a good brand that people can follow, people can support on as well.
Have you started getting the development of an entourage yet, or are people kind of hanging on yet?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've always had a very tight-knit team. You know, previously it was just me, my three coaches, Umaji and our masseuse John, and then it added on. We've got India Mandy, our strength and conditioning coaches. Then we've got my manager as well, my boxing manager. So you know, that's essentially the close-knit team that we've got. At the minute, yeah, we've got other friends and other people that do support in other ways, but generally that's
you got the Tollies. Don't forget the Tollies as well. The Tollies are part of the team now.
They are part of the team, yeah. That definitely. We've got a videographer, Salman H Video Studios. So he's always there. He's always capturing the moments that we all cherish. So you know, the team is growing. When I say entourage, I don't really like that word because it just means they're all following me, and they're not following me. But we all work as one team. We're all one big family. You know, there's no egos. This is the biggest thing, and you know, anyone that wants to come and train with us, we train at Midland Lungar Silver Community Hub every Sunday, 9 till 12. We have a lot of people in there. You know, Uncle runs them classes, and he doesn't give me favoritism over. There's no favoritism for anyone in that gym. I get my time on the pads, understandably, but outside of that, I do my own training in the gym, and then he will then give time and attention to everyone in the gym. There's no egos with us. That's the biggest thing is anyone can come on our class, anyone can have fun, anyone can train, and we will give the time to everyone.
That community hub and what Midland Lunga say what do, you know, like I always have this kind of discussion with Dina, especially there, which is like they don't advertise the half of the stuff that they do. The amount of community work that they do from it is unbelievable. And you know, a big shout.
In there, I mean, yeah, I mean a big shout out to Popsy and the team over there. They do a fantastic job. I went up there last week during the week, and they were in there with some kids. Some kids that were just. Have had some learning difficulties, and they were just putting them through a bit of few different exercises, few boxing, or whether it was just playful exercises, just playing some games, keeping their minds active and busy. So I never knew they did that, and that was all projects that they run. But he said, you know, they can get upwards of 30 kids a class, so they're getting, you know, anywhere between 200-300 kids through their doors every week.
It's free of charge. Unbelievable. Free of charge. Yeah, I went there and they were doing food for kids during the half term, you know, where they're not sure where they're getting meals and stuff, and putting that, and I couldn't believe it because it was, you know, some things that you always think that's how it should be, and then because I saw it, I was like, wow, these guys, you know what they're doing, and you know they whatever they do, they always put their heart and soul in it, which is good. I know I haven't got you for long, so I'm going to kind of ask a question with you, which I ask all my guests which come on here. So it's called the Bandwagon. So either you can, it's your opportunity basically to either jump on a bandwagon or jump off a bandwagon, or just in general, if there's anything that you want to get off your chest or anything that you want to talk about, this is your opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's thank you to everyone that's sent me a message, reached out to me, seen me on the street and said hi. Just thank you to everyone for the support, because it really does mean the world. And, you know, it doesn't get unnoticed. I appreciate it greatly. And, you know, it just means that the big TV, the big guys on big TV, Sky Sports, for example, will get behind me, in turn, get behind us as a big fighting family. And then we can get the big nights back in the Midlands and around the country, you know. That's what I want. That's what I want to be able to provide a platform for the next generation when they come into sport in general. I'm not talking about boxing. I'm talking about even football, cricket, rugby, whatever it is. I just want to see more young people get into the sport and do it on a big stage. If I can provide some form of platform for that, then I've achieved the job. So thank you to everyone that supported the journey, and this is just a start. I can tell you we're gonna have some really good fun and some really big nights.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, representation matters, man. It really does. And when you see people like yourself, you know, performing on that one, those are the positive stories in terms of saying, like, look what he's doing. He's from the same ends. This,
Yeah.
look what he's achieved. Just the last question that I want to ask you. You know, like your nickname, The Natural. Where did that come from, and who gives you that nickname?
That was Uncle Baggy gave me that when I was 13. So I went into that English title fight, and he said, "I think I got some new trousers made, and I was getting them printed." And he said, he goes, "Fight name." He goes, "Do you know what? I've got a good." He actually came to me and said, "We're gonna call you The Natural." He said, and that came down to that when I was a young kid in kickboxing, he was teaching me stuff and I was learning stuff, and I was doing it straight away. So it just came natural to me. That's where the name came from, and it just stuck. And yeah, obviously boxing's coming natural to me as well now.
Nah, you know, like, I just want to say, like, anything that we could do, you know, the people who kind of follow this, the podcast, and anything that we could do to help and support, it's an open door for you. So, like, I'll be checking in with you, you know, just checking if anything, what's going on your next fights and stuff like that. So you're thinking of fighting. So you're looking to watch the next tournament, but when are you thinking about your next fight? Do you know when that is?
Nothing's been confirmed. Nothing. We're looking at the summertime this year. But nothing's been confirmed yet. So, like I said, I'm with the guys at Sky next week. Yeah. If anyone's watching, tune into Sky Sports. There'll be a nice announcement there on the night as well. So, we've got a nice special ring, bit of stuff going on Sky next week. So tune in.
Thanks, man. Dylan, really appreciate you, you know, taking some time out for this. And I know you got a really busy media day anyway, as well. Yeah. So really appreciate it, man. I wish you all the best for the future, bro.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.